Raid Shadow Legends Silver 1 chest in Arena. Can you believe it? I am in fact a god. That puts me at the top 99% of players. I would like to do a shout out to myself for this achievement. But in this video, we have something even more important to talk about than my absolute mastery of the arena. And of course, that thing we need to talk about is the paywall in the Doom Tower, okay? There is actually a paywall in the Doom Tower, and unfortunately, it's a little bit of a ridiculous of one. I thought it was going to be something else entirely. I was wrong. I thought it was just going to be, where they're going to put like 5 Valkyries, or, you know, they're going to do crazy combos, and they did. There's the Macabs that will one-shot you and the block revive. There's all that crazy stuff, sure. Okay, granted, you're right. They did do that, but the real issue has nothing to do with the characters that are in there, because what you figure out when you're doing the Doom Tower is that really, if you have enough of the characters, like let me show you here, right? If you have enough of the right characters when you're doing the Doom Tower, it kind of comes down to just, let's infinitely CC them. Meaning, okay, let's Torment, all right? We got Nethro that has a stun and AoE decreased turn meter. We got Tundra at the HP burns, which then triggers more, you know, Torment. You try to figure out, how can I CC the waves? And this is for waves, right? So I can get through them and they get 0 turns. So what they figured out is, let's just go ahead and make it a paywall by just jacking up the resistance, so that the only way you could beat ridiculous waves, like they put in Macabs, for instance, right? And it's ridiculous because they'll put in these Macabs, and the Macabs will one-shot you completely because they have like 1,000,000 health. But then they also put in Skytouch Shaman, who heals and block debuffs and all that, right? And they make them super fast, so you have to have a speed lead. For instance, I have what? Look at this, right? 268 speed. I have even more on some other characters, right? Well over 250 on a good amount of these characters I was using during this. And unfortunately, even with that speed, I was still getting outsped. I had to put in Lissandra lead with 268 speed on top of the fact that she had 450 accuracy, because that is the real problem in the Doom Tower. If you didn't know, most everybody in the Doom Tower has like 400 resistance. So the paywall comes in the fact that, one, you need, oh my goodness, let me get out of all their offers. One is you need insanely high accuracy. You can see I have accuracy here on the Great Hall. And if you don't have the Great Hall accuracy, you're in trouble, okay? So I got some accuracy bonus from that, plus 80, right? But on top of it, my Lissandra had 454. Man, all these pack offers get annoying. Holy I just play the menu. Okay, to give you an idea, this is the team I ran to beat Scarab, which in my opinion is the hardest wave in the Doom Tower. You're going to notice on this team, we have a lot of turn meter decrease. We have Lissandra, we have Nethro, we have Coldheart, and we have Allure. Now, Lissandra has 454 accuracy, and even with that, she was continually resisted by the Scarab boss. If you didn't know, if these characters get resisted, I'm going to get completely wiped, because what happens is we have to keep the Scarab's turn meter down. He can never get a single turn, and if he gets 1 turn, the team is a full wipe. For that reason, obviously, that's why we have turn meter reduction. Now, this is where the insane paywall, in fact, is in this game, is because if you don't have the accuracy, not only are you just simply not going to beat this stage, but you have to have turn meter reduction characters. And this is not the only one that requires that. The earlier stages with the Scarab, yes, it's not as bad. You can maybe beat it without such a crazy team. But keep in mind, the bosses are going to rotate, okay, with the months coming up, meaning those Scarab bosses are going to be placed in different positions on that Doom Tower. And it's going to lock you out. If you can't beat the Scarab now, it's going to lock you out, because eventually that Scarab's going to be the first one, then the second boss, and the third boss, right? You get it's going to be moving around. And so when it's the first boss, you're going to be completely locked out, because if you stall just there, I in fact got resisted, and now my team's going to get wiped, okay? Because I'm getting resisted, and that's with 450 accuracy. So what I want to say today is that the addition of Perception Gear by Plarium was a great idea. And here, check this out. See, you can see I died again. Make sure you're working on that Perception Gear, because you're going to need it. I mean, I have accuracy gear on basically everyone at this point, and my entire team is still getting resisted. And they have 400 plus, 454 on Lissandra, and even more on some other characters. So be careful. There is a chance for them to just get resisted. That can happen. but do not throw away your gear that has high accuracy and high accuracy substats. I've spent 16 grand in this game and some of it on gear packs, and I still don't have many accuracy primary chests and pieces like that because I really haven't been focusing on that. I didn't think I needed 450 accuracy for PvE, but now we're at that point in the game where we do. So that is definitely the paywall, is accuracy gear and turn meter reduction characters. So you're gonna need to work on that if Doom Tower is something you want to progress on. Real quick, 6 p.m. EST, that is 1 hour before reset in Raid, meaning when you look at it and it says in 1 hour the new stuff is resetting, new potion dungeon, all that. That is me. I'm online. Go to twitch.tv/DarthMicrotransaction, and we're going to be completing the Doom Tower live from stage 111 all the way to 120. We're finishing it out, and we're going to put the stamp on and complete it. Also, real quick, I want to talk about the fusion here. I have decided to not go for the fusion. I started getting some of the rares and collecting towards it, and then I kind of realized I actually don't really care about this character. And on top of it, she takes 1 billion books, and since I'm not part of the content creator program anymore, I'm not getting any freebies, and I really kind of need to value my books over time. So I don't think I'm going to be doing anything for this fusion. Not only that, but it's really, really difficult as free to play with 1.2 million silver. I say free to play now, but it's XWell, right? I'm just not spending money now going forward. I don't have the raid pass card or anything like that. It's gonna be kind of hard to do. So I think this is a skip for me. The amount of books she takes, I know this is kind of a point that's been like smashed to death already, but if we look here, it's a little ridiculous, the amount of books, okay? I mean, look, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 on the basic alone. Only 2 there is not so bad. But then we got 7 here, 3 more there. I mean, Jesus, you know, there's no way. There's just no way that it's worth that many books. Really cool art, though, man. I do love the art. I was actually looking at the epic characters, though, and I kind of think this guy's all right, so you might want to fuse him. I do think a stun, pretty good. Stands to placing a stun. If the target has more than turn meter, blah, 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 you can buff it. Okay, it goes up. Stun on basics, pretty good, especially for an epic here. Increased crit rate with increased damage on himself and then attacks enemy. Very good. Ignoring defense is even better. I like that. The passive is good as well. If you look at it, immune to fear, true fear, freeze, provoke, sleep, and stun. That's pretty crazy. That almost makes me curious if he'd be any good in arena. And then you look here, increases ally resistant Doom Tower battles by 50. Now, there's other characters that are immune as well. No Rog, and you actually fight against a No Rog in a lot of the Faction 21 Faction Wars waves. And it's very annoying that you can't place any CC on him. He has this same type of passive. I actually am a fan of these types of passives. The one bummer part is it is on the cooldown. So he gets 3 turns. That probably does make it where it's not very usable in arena. If this was more consistent no-turn passive, he would be disgusting, I think. But he still looks pretty good. And I like his base speed, the 101. His base stats aren't bad. And this is just a really good move. The placing the stun on. I think he does crit. He does crit to himself with ignore defense. This move is a win. I mean, it's 3-turn cooldown. I could see him in some nut reflex or something, just popping this move over and over again, maybe. Anyway, pretty good character, so I would consider fusing him for sure. I just wanted to make sure you guys knew that. Also, this guy's pretty good. He's the Void Dwarf. I'm not even gonna bother trying to nail the name. If you look here at the basic, this basic is a leech, okay? Leech, I think, is fairly good in this day and age, especially with lots of AoEs going on. This part's kind of weird, okay? It's sacrifice HP equal to 15% of his max HP, then fills his turn meter by 75% and places a shield buff on them equal to 20% of his max HP. Okay, so effectively, he loses 15%, but then gains 20%, okay? Because the shield cannot be removed. So this is kind of EHP, which is effective HP gain of 5%. I don't know how excited I am about that, but if you read here, the HP sacrifice will happen even if even if it kills this champion and will ignore shield and block damage buffs, okay? So AKA that damage is always going to happen. You know, I don't really know how I feel about this move. This move's kind of but if you look here at the third one, all right, which is interesting. Maybe there's something about that I'm not seeing. You get a shield on yourself. Maybe that's great for Scarab, whatever. This part's interesting, though. Attack buff on self, then weaken buff on the target, and decrease defense buff on the target for 2 turns. So that's kind of like a Rosin. You know how Rosin had it where he did the weaken and defense down, but Rosin doesn't have the increased attack up. And he does the decreased defense on the target for 2 turns before attacking. So you actually get the benefit of it while you're hitting. So I like that a lot. I think this move's pretty nuts, but check out this passive, okay? Decreases the cooldown of this Gleam of Avarice skill by 1 turn every time his champion loses 15% HP. The HP loss is accumulated and tracked over multiple turns, attacks or hits, and is not affected by healing or other HP increases. Okay, meaning this resets this move. The Gleam of Avarice. For some reason, I thought I reset this one. I clicked on this first because I got the name swapped around. I was like, for a minute, my brain was like, does not compute. But if you look here, so it resets this one, which is 4-turn cooldown. Let's see how this works then. By 1 turn. So he gets hit. 15% is not a lot. When that happens, he's going to get this reduced by 1, effectively making it, if he gets it reduced by just 1, then he needs to have it reduced by 2 in order to keep it up 100% of the time. Unless you have Hexmaster, then you could get decreased by 1. AKA, I'm sitting here debating with myself, but basically what it comes down to is I think this character is a fairly good character. I think the decrease down and weaken on a singular target is really good. This is a chance to get that for a newer account that doesn't have it, so I think that's probably a benefit. So there's a few things you can get out of this fusion. I'd probably fuse this guy if you don't have a defense down, weaken. If you already have rosin or something, maybe skip him. But the stone, I would do the stone. These other two I'm not terribly impressed about. I mean, this guy kind of looks cool. I like the way his art looks, but I'm just, All in all, this fusion has some hidden bonuses, which is the epics. I could probably recommend fusing the epics, or at least the 2 I talked about here, and I'm going to skip on the legendary. I mean, the books are a lot, and hey, even if I was still in the content creator program and got, was it like 3 books a week or something, it would still be a lot of books. So even then, I'd be debating it. So it's just going to be a pass for me. I'm probably not even going to fuse the epics, to be honest with you, just because I don't have a use for them. I already have rosin, and stone's cool, but I don't want to go make a video just on him. I mean, I'm not interested in that. So yeah, probably going to skip literally everything, but I do recommend those 2 epics. All right, that's going to wrap it up for today's video. I love you all. I'll see you on the live stream, 6 p.m. Eastern time. Okay, that's 1 hour before the reset in Raid. I will be live on twitch.tv/DarthMicrotransaction. There will be a pinned comment as well as in the description. I love you all, and I'll see you there.